Thor's Hammers. Okay, 5 Oscar nominations, including Best Actress for this one. Still Alice and Julianne Moore.
Yeah, and she plays a linguistics professor dealing with a terrible diagnosis, early onset Alzheimer's, and this is a role that is sure to get her an Oscar.
Welcome, Dr. Alice Howland.
Thank you. I hope to convince you that by observing these baby steps
Alice, where the hell were you?
Went for a run.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that because you completely blew our dinner plans.
Yeah, just utterly heartbreaking there, as you can see. And that's a key moment where she forgets a word during her speech, and little things start happening, like she's going for a jog around campus, somewhere that she normally would travel, and gets disoriented. And then the diagnosis comes, and it's shocking because she learns that she could also pass it on to her kids as well.
You know, Julianne Moore is such a phenomenal actress. Given her performance, how difficult is this a movie to watch, given the subject matter?
Well, there's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, a flicker of hope, if you will, because it does break down a lot of the stigma and the culture of secrecy and shame that surrounds Alzheimer's as a disease. So I like that it pushes it to the forefront. She is heartbreaking to watch. It's an utterly tragic story because you know this will not have a good outcome. But to watch her play the role and see her intellect and you know, and physical abilities deteriorate, it's fascinating to watch, even though it is tough at times. Although, that being said, her performance alone can't elevate the movie to anything great. So this is basically, it feels like the best Lifetime movie ever created. Without her performance sort of keeping things afloat, it would really descend into some schmaltz because it's got a very heavy-handed, dramatic score that sort of overemphasized some of the emotional scenes. It was not needed. And a lot of the characters, frankly, came off as a bit trite. So she's fantastic in the role. They should just give her the Oscar now. The rest of it, though, really rests on her shoulders because it's not all that great of a film.
How many hammers for Still Alice?
3 out of 5.
But a good one to watch, given the Academy Awards coming up in February.
Not an exceptional film, but I would say you need to see it for her performance.
Okay, I'm not sure there's going to be an Oscar nomination for this one, but The Boy Next Door with J-Lo.
Well, what did you expect? I mean, J-Lo is going through a divorce with Ryan Corbett, and so right there, that's sort of John Corbett. Sorry, that's a bit of a stretch as in itself. And then Ryan Guzman is the hot young neighbor who seduces her. They have a little, you know, passionate evening, and J-Lo's, you know, sort of quick to say that was a mistake. I don't really want to do this. Let's start again and be friends. But he's not having it. He gets a little, shall we say, crazy. And Guzman actually does a really good job of chewing up the scenery and just descending into madness as he becomes this stalker. Now, at its core, it's a bit of a serious story, but handled so campily and so silly. It's basically like a pulpy, trashy book that you just don't want to put down. It's like going.
That's too hot for TV.
There's a sex scene is a little bit, yes, it's quite saucy, as it were. It's like going to a buffet. You're going to enjoy it for an hour and a half, but you will regret it soon afterwards.
Really?
Yes.
90 minutes? You stay there?
But there's some wackiness in the film. I mean, there's a crazy sort of like scene where this car doesn't have brakes, and John Corbett and the son are like, stop, you know, and then he puts all these, Guzman puts all these pictures of them in compromising positions all over her classroom, and she's struggling to like pick all these photos up as the principal's like turning the knob in the door. So they like try to build some tension, but the script is so horrible, but you can't turn away.
The fact you remember this much, I think you're going to give it a rating that's lower than you really want to give it.
You know
How
what?
many hammers?
I got to go 2 out of 5. It's an awful movie, but it does have some redeeming qualities. And if you're at home with nothing to do on a rainy Sunday, you're going to watch it.
Okay. 2 out of 5, maybe 3 or 4. We'll talk off camera about that.